Making a 33 square meter apartment feel like a 100 square meter one. Furniture with 72 transformation, making the space feel larger. My wife was completely amazed. What you thought was a dining chair can actually turn into a ladder. What you thought was a coat rack, it can actually become a hidden dressing mirror. What you thought was a mural, it can actually open up to become a hidden dining table. What you thought was a rectangular coffee table, it can actually transform into 4 storage stools, and when raised, it can comfortably seat 10 mothers-in-law. What you thought was a side table, it can actually become a height-adjustable table. What you think is a big sofa can actually transform into a bunk bed. What you think is a washboard, it can actually become a height-adjustable study desk. What you think are a collection of small boxes, it can actually become a large wardrobe. What you think is a large round table, it can actually become a height-adjustable folding coffee table. What you think is a sofa, it can actually transform into a large double bed. What you think is a computer chair, it can actually become a reclining chair for a nap. What you think is a vegetable basket, it can actually become a cylindrical structure. You think this is a Rubik's Cube? Actually, it can transform into 5 dining stools. You think this is a black and white shelving unit? Actually, it can transform into a floating dining table. You think this is a bedside table? Actually, it can transform into a hidden dressing table. A must-have for a vain mother-in-law. You think this is a small dining table? Actually, it can rotate to become a large dining table. You think this is a tea table? Actually, it can split into 4 dining stools. You think this is a small sofa? Actually, it can transform into a single bed. My wife loves this design. What do you think?